When I tried oil painting before, it was difficult to use, and the paintings came out messy. But I never tried water mixable oil paint, so I thought it would be fun to try it. I opted for a little seascape and used a limited palette of just white, cerulean blue, and Prussian blue. I am also using a canvas pad, which is still woven canvas, but it is thin like paper and easier to store than large stretched canvas. The only thing I really know about oil painting is to paint fat over lean. This means that the initial layers of paint are thin, and you build up thicker layers on top of them. I started with the sky, and as you can see, I used more paint as I made the fluffy clouds and brought in other shades of blue in order to give the sky some depth. I realized that a large round brush didn't work here to paint the ocean, so I switched it for a smaller flat brush. The darker shade of blue paint gets blended into the lower part of the canvas because it is the water that is closest to us. I purposefully added thicker paint here to give the water some texture, therefore it would seem like moving waves. It was hard trying to avoid mixing the paint as I added more layers. I usually use acrylic paint, so when learning oil painting, and like any new artistic medium, it takes time to learn how to use it. Small canvases are great to use when you are learning new techniques or using different mediums. Therefore, you can finish a painting quickly, and while you are still learning, you aren't spending a long time on a bigger piece. After I was pretty much done with the ocean, I went back to the sky and smoothed out the horizon line with this small flat brush and some more white paint. I also fixed some of the clouds, particularly the undersides of them where you see the darker shades of blue. Oil paint was actually quite fun to work with when I was doing the clouds because I liked how it stayed wet and I could blend the clouds as much as I wanted as opposed to acrylic paint, which dries quickly. But there are painting mediums available that extend the drying time of acrylic paint, so these can be helpful for blending them too. You can see how I blended the clouds a little too much. So I went back in with some white paint to brighten the areas that got too mixed together. I put thicker paint here because I wanted to really give the clouds texture. Clouds are one of the most interesting subjects to paint because of the way they move in the sky and how they take all kinds of shapes depending on the weather. I sometimes struggle to get the layering right on the clouds even in acrylic paint because it's important to focus on the highlights and shadows. I sometimes like to take pictures of really interesting clouds in the sky so I can practice painting them. Even clouds on a moody gray day can be a fun experiment. This small flat brush worked well for the waves and the clouds after the initial layers with the large round brush. Flat brushes also work great for sailboats and the wake behind them. Just adding some finishing touches here. To sign the painting, I thought it would work to scratch my name in it with a palette knife since the paint was quite thick. Here's the finished painting. This was great to try and certainly stretched my artistic skills. I hope this inspired you to try out a new artistic medium and experiment with your artwork. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in more of my work, please check out the links in the video description. If you enjoyed this art experiment and want to see more, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Until we paint again, happy creating!